Mel Kiper mock draft reaction. We're going to go through the latest mock from ESPN draft analyst Mel Kiper. Literally picks 1 all the way down through 32. But I wouldn't be able to do today's show, and, well, I probably wouldn't be able to have all these extra gift cards that I have if it wasn't for our awesome sponsor, Fetch. If you guys haven't already heard, you can turn your old receipts into, yes, gift cards. Thanks to the Fetch Rewards app. All right, so what you guys are going to be seeing here is a reaction to Mel Kiper's latest mock draft. I'm going to go from picks 1 all the way down to 32, so please keep that in mind. Remember, picks 1 to 24, they are already set. Like, those picks are not going to change. It's the picks from 25 to 32 that are going to continue to change. And for those of you that are like, Mitch, why is this team picking at 25? Why is this team picking at 32? ESPN's Football Power Index is what is projected the picks, all right? It's not me. It was ESPN, so please do not yell at me. All right, so without further ado, let's get into today's Mel Kiper mock draft reaction. You got picks 1 all the way down through 4 is where we're going to start. And like we've seen in most mock drafts, coming off the board at number 1 of the Jacksonville Jaguars is going to be Aidan Hutchinson, defensive end out of Michigan. Coming in at number 2 for the Detroit Lions, Kayvon Thibodeaux, which in most mocks that you see, these are your top 2 prospects. And then on top of that, coming in at number 3, Neal, the top offensive tackle from Alabama. He's going to be going over to the Houston Texans. What's going to be curious is, who's he going to be blocking for? I don't think it's going to be Deshaun Watson. At number 4 for the New York Jets, Kyle Hamilton. This guy would be, I think, an absolute lock in the top 5 if he didn't suffer an injury near the end of his season at Notre Dame. I think all 4 of these dudes are going to be really, really solid players in the National Football League. Now, if you guys want more free NFL draft videos the entire offseason, the offseason's a long time, and if you're sitting there twiddling your thumbs, you don't know what to watch, you can watch Chat Sports content. So make sure you hit that sub button. Join the 277,000 subs that we have. Turn on those notifications. That way you don't miss a thing. Here's also the cool news. We do tons of videos here at Chat Sports. My guy Tom Downey, he released the 2022 NFL mock draft with trades. All the links to every single one of the videos that you see here will be in the comments, and they will be in the description. What about way too early top 25 rankings? We got them. NFL head coaching predictions. If you're wondering where Jim Harbaugh is going to go, who's going to be the next head coach of the Bears? We tell you all that stuff. Those links, again, available. Comments and in the description. Another reason to subscribe to Chat Sports. Let's go through now picks 5 through 8. Giants, Panthers, Giants via the Bears. Remember that Justin Fields trade. And then the Atlanta Falcons. Coming in here at number 5 is Ikem, Ekwonu, offensive tackle / guard from North Carolina State. He's a really good prospect, but personally for me, this is the first time I've seen him go in the top 10, let alone the top 5. Coming in at number 6, Charles Cross. He's my number 2 offensive tackle in this year's draft out of Mississippi State. Carolina, they got a really solid right tackle. Now you need to go ahead and build the other side, which is the left side with Charles Cross. David Ojabo from the New York Giants. And when you really talk about this guy, I mean, he is an athletic specimen. You know that New York is going to try to get even more edge rushers, but a very interesting start for the G-men, considering the fact that both these prospects have very high ceilings, but do, I think, have, kind of low floors. And then number 8 here, the Atlanta Falcons, Derek Stingley Jr., cornerback out of LSU. And when people ask me, who do you think could be the number 1 bust prospect? I look at Derek Stingley, which makes me wonder, should Atlanta go ahead and draft him, considering the fact that the cornerback, whose name is escaping me, from Clemson that they drafted 2 years ago, he wasn't really that good of a pick. I thought he was a little bit of a reach at number 16. Now, what I want you guys to do is take a guess here, right? Which school will have the most players taken in the first round? Do you think it's Alabama? Go ahead and spam Bama. Do you think it's the champs, Georgia? What about LSU? What about Clemson? I want you to go down in the comments section right now and let me know which school will have the most players taken in round 1. My normal gut reaction is to sit here and say Alabama. Then I probably think Georgia is number 1. I got to tell y'all, you need to go ahead and download this free app called Fetch. They are unbelievable. It's one of my favorite apps right now. All you got to do is go to chatsports.com/fetch. Make sure you use promo code CHAT. You're going to get a bonus 3,000 bonus points. That way you can go ahead and convert those bad boys into gift cards. Now, the reason why I love this thing is because the Fetch app pays you back with digital gift cards for scanning your receipts, which you can redeem on purchases for your favorite stores like Target and Amazon. What makes it different from other reward apps is that you can scan both physical and digital receipts, and features, not all apps, they have that. When you really talk about this bad boy, I'm telling y'all right now, you're going to absolutely fall in love with it, because who else goes out and they shop? If 2020 taught me anything, it taught me to be more responsible with my money and to be smarter with my money. I know you're going to go out and buy stuff. I know you're going to go to restaurants. I know you're going to go to stores. Take the receipt, scan it, and then you're going to be able to earn those bonus points and then convert those bonus points into gift cards. Like 3,000 bonus points equals $3. People are like, oh, $3. But you can rack up points really, really quickly and then go out and spoil yourself a little bit. All I'm saying is shop smarter, not harder. How do you do it? Chatsports.com/fetch. Promo code chat. That link is going to be available for y'all down in the comments and in the description. All right, let's keep this mock draft rolling here. We're going to go from picks 9 all the way down to 12. The Denver Broncos, the Jets, the football team, Minnesota Vikings, also the football team. Hopefully we get a new name on February 2nd. They're going to go Nakobe Dean. This dude was an absolute monster. I think the only thing that he missed in the national title game was after the game, he was wearing an Alabama national championship hat. Somebody should have told him earlier he's going to be an absolute stud, and I really truly believe if you're a linebacker and you go to Denver, it's going to be an absolute steal. The New York Jets, they're next up here. Remember, there was that whole Jamal Adams trade. Drake London, wide receiver out of USC. He's a really good athlete, and he was a one-time basketball player, was trending in the right direction, 6'5" receiver, but I have yet to see Drake London be the number 1 receiver off the board, so I do think this might be a little bit of a reach there for New York. At number 11, another little bit of a surprise pick here, Malik Willis, quarterback out of Liberty. I love this kid's potential. He's athletic. He's got a good arm. And realistically, there was some hype about Malik being a top 5 pick before the season started. Now, he does play at Liberty. I get it. I like him a lot. I think he's a first-round talent, but to be the first quarterback off the board, that does surprise me a little bit. At number 12, Amon Sauce Gardner. He's the number 1 cornerback prospect, I actually think, in this year's draft. I understand Stingley's going to go higher, but I think Gardner is going to be a little bit more consistent. If you're Minnesota, you let go of Breeland. Patrick Peterson really struggled at times this season. You let go of Jeff Gladney. This pick makes a lot of sense for Minnesota. Let's now go picks from 13 all the way down to 16. You got the Browns, the Ravens, the Eagles, and then, yes, another pick, back-to-back picks for Philly. And guess what? They got another pick coming up. Let's go Garrett Wilson, wide receiver out of Ohio State. You got to find somebody who can replace Odell Beckham Jr. I don't know who the quarterback's going to be. I do know this, though. Garrett Wilson is my number 1 receiver as it stands right now since Jameson Williams ended up getting hurt. Number 14, the Baltimore Ravens. They're going to be looking for some solid interior offensive linemen. Tyler Linderbaum's the best center I've seen in, I'm not kidding you, 10 years. And if you're Baltimore, what do you want to try to do? You want to try to pound the rock. You want to try to run the football. Linderbaum's about as good as it gets in the running game, so you want to be able to build behind Lamar, J.K. Dobbins. This is an absolute slam dunk pick here for the Ravens. Now let's go back-to-back picks here for the Eagles. Devin Lloyd, inside linebacker out of Utah. This young man, he can do it all, and if you're really trying to help out Philly, I always say linebacker's kind of the running back on the defensive side. It's maybe the most least important position, but Philly might have the worst linebacking unit in all of the NFL, so this is a really good pick here for them. And then Arnold, and I'm going to do my best here to get this name right, Ebukati. I think that's what it is, hopefully, right? Defensive end for Philly. They need more edge rushers. They got to be able to get after some of these really solid quarterbacks in that division. When I say really solid, I mean really only Dak Prescott. All right, y'all, so here's a good question for you. I'm spending my time reacting to Mel Kiper, ESPN NFL draft analyst's latest mock. You guys like Mel? I know it's kind of topsy-turvy on some people. They like what he does. Other people are like, he's a little too old school for me. Type Y for yes or N for no. Do you like Mel Kiper Jr.? Let's go to the back half of his mock draft, and I'm going to continue to react to it to the best of my abilities. Coming in here at pick number 17, the Los Angeles Chargers. They're going to go with maybe the largest human being I've ever seen on a football field, minus Vince Wilfork. It's Jordan Davis, 6'6", 340 pounds. This young man's going to be able to play in a 4-3. He's also going to be able to play in a 3-4. His versatility as athleticness for that size makes him easily a top I was going to say 20 pick, and yeah, that's where he's at. Let's go to the New Orleans Saints here. Another quarterback off the board. It's Kenny Pickett. It's a shame that we had to watch Trevor Siemian, Taysom Hill attempt to throw the football. Kenny Pickett, if I could say, if I wanted to go with anywhere, with anyone in terms of a head coach, Sean Payton would be the guy. Is Sean Payton going to stay there, though? That's the real question. Let's go to number 19 here, the Eagles' third first-round pick. It's Chris Olave, wide receiver out of Ohio State. I love what this guy can do. He's a really good wide receiver, too. At least that's what I think he's going to be in the NFL. I don't know if he's ever going to be a one, but his safety is a lot better than what Jalen Reagor's is, because Jalen Reagor stinks at this point. You're really trying to go ahead and draft somebody to fill that young man's shoes. At number 20, the Pittsburgh Steelers, Matt Corral, the third quarterback off the board. I'll tell you what, if Corral hits, I really think he has the upside to be somebody like Justin Herbert right away. That's personally what I honestly, truly believe. I think he is that talented. Pittsburgh with Ben Roethlisberger, that offense could not move the football whatsoever, but the defense is ready to go. Big Ben is out the door. Can Corral fill his shoes? Let's go picks now, 21 to 24, and Mel Kiper's latest mock draft. The New England Patriots, they're going to go ahead and take wide receiver out of Alabama, Jameson Williams. Now, if Williams wouldn't have hurt his knee in the national championship game, then I actually think he's probably would have been the number one receiver taken. Though, if I'm a receiver, obviously you'd like to be able to go to New England. But if there's been one struggle that Bill Belichick has been doing, it's finding receivers in the first round. So maybe this one ends up working out for them. At pick number 22, Andrew Booth Jr., cornerback out of Clemson. I really truly believe the only way that this pick ends up happening is if the Raiders don't re-sign Casey Hayward, which then would mean you have Andrew Booth on the one side, Trayvon Mullen on the other side. Both Clemson cornerbacks, they can reunite. At number 23, George Karlaftis, who you look at his numbers, 4.5 sacks, didn't really do too many things special at Purdue. And I always say when I talk about him is like, he got double teamed, sometimes triple teamed because he played at Purdue. I'd be curious to see how he would fit with Arizona. I don't know if they're going to be looking at a potential Chandler Jones replacement, but Karlaftis is more of a hands-in-the-dirt type of edge rusher, not so much what Chandler Jones did. At number 24, Trayvon Walker, defensive end out of Georgia. And I like this kid. He is a really, really good athlete. But maybe Tom could explain this pick to me. I don't understand why the Cowboys are taking an edge rusher here in the first round. I think they have other major needs that they could go ahead and fill. Like the player, don't really like the pick here. So what I want you guys to do here is rep your squad. But on top of that, I want you to let me know who the heck should your team draft? Because now there's some teams who don't have a first-round pick, right? Like the Rams, the Seahawks, and just because that you guys aren't in this video doesn't mean I don't want to know what you guys are thinking. So shout out who your favorite team is, and let me know which player you're really hoping ends up falling to your team. Now remember, I said this earlier, picks 1 through 24, they are locked and loaded. Those are going to be the picks, obviously unless trades happen. But now picks 25 through 32, they are based on ESPN Power Index, so don't blame me, blame ESPN. So we got the Bengals, the Dolphins, the Bills, and then the Detroit Lions. These are going to be the next picks. You got Trevor Penning, offensive tackle from Northern Iowa, excuse me. He's a really, really big dude. The issue is this. I get the idea you want to try to protect Joe Burrow. I just don't see him as a first-round talent. At number 26 for the Miami Dolphins via the San Francisco 49ers, Jahan Dotson. This kid is electric. He is a really fast, twitchy type of receiver, which maybe that's the type of receiver that you need. Yards after the catch for Tua Tagovailoa. I don't know if Devontae Parker is going to end up coming back. I also know this. Will Fuller, he's definitely not coming back. Let's go to the Buffalo Bills here. Trent McDuffie, really, really solid cornerback out of Washington. I'm curious to see what Buffalo does in the draft, simply because they don't have, I would say, many glaring needs. Their cornerback position, I thought, has done a really good job. I mean, they're the number one defense right now statistically if you look at it. But I don't take a running back, which I think a running back is a major need for them. Also a tight end. Maybe they could have taken a tight end in round one, though I just don't know how I feel about it. For the Detroit Lions, they're going to go with a quarterback here. So 4 quarterbacks in the first round of Mel's latest mock. Sam Howell, cornerback out of North Carolina. A lot of people thought that this could be the number 1 overall pick of this year's draft a few months ago before the season started. He's really physical. I like his ability to run. And if you're Detroit, you got to find another quarterback besides Jared Goff. He stinks. He's clearly not it. Though, I don't know if Howell's going to be a good fit there either, because you're kind of throwing your young quarterback to the wolves. Let's finish out this bad boy. You got the Kansas City Chiefs the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Tennessee Titans, and then the Green Bay Packers. Starting to become one of my favorite prospects is Cameron Thomas, defensive end from San Diego State. Here's the thing. He needs to be able to be put in a very good position. If you put him on a good football team, he's going to succeed because of his versatility. He's long, he's lanky. I really like that pick for Kansas City. Coming in here at number 30, this is actually, I think, one of the steals of this whole mock. DeMarvin Leal. I actually think that this kid could be a top 15 pick. He's my number 1 defensive tackle in this year's draft. I think the reason why he fell as far as he did is because you saw Jordan Davis in the national championship game. Recency bias goes that route, and now Leal's starting to slide a little bit. At number 31, Kyler Gordon, cornerback out of Washington. Tennessee's biggest need is corner, and I don't really think if you're a Titans fan, you absolutely know that that's where your weakness is right now, and if you want to continue to build that solid defense, that's the route you're going. At number 32, Trey McBride, tight end from Colorado State. Last season, I guess technically this season, over 90 catches, over 1,200 yards, I believe. Really good, versatile guy, can catch the football. 6 foot, 250 pounds. Really, really solid athlete. Not that I don't like this move for Green Bay, but you already have a pretty solid tight end in Robert Tonyan. I would have gone maybe a wide receiver if you want an extra skill position player, but who knows? Maybe the Green Bay Packers without Aaron Rodgers are going to do more 2 tight end sets. Now, that was every single pick in Mel Kiper's latest mock draft, so here's your opportunity. Maybe if you don't like Mel, you can give him a bad grade. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know down in the comments Mel Kiper's mock draft grade.